The Dark Tower, Season 1. Movie event with Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and Tom Taylor. So let's get a few things out of the way. I have the first book and the rest of the series, as you can see there. I've read this one, but to the consensus of all of the writings of Stephen King, either you like them or you don't. And I like Stephen King fine. Some of the books were harder to get into than others. And The Gunslinger was definitely hard for me to get into. I found an older version of the book and read it, and I wanted to chuck it across the room. It pissed me off so bad. I could understand half of what was going on between the story or the weird way it was written, and I just couldn't get into it. Nevertheless, that is as far as my puritanism goes to the novel to movie. Furthermore, I understand a lot of people found this movie as alright. Not everyone walked out of this giving it favorable reviews. And here's my problem with the review. What happens if I don't see it the way you see it? Does that make my opinion any less? I have a really rough time with that because I do see where people have their gripes, but maybe we should just get into the movie and maybe I can explain some of the things that I saw. Just let's get into this. From trailer to film, let's do this. The Dark Tower trailer. Review-ish. The trailer conveys visual impressiveness. The action is there. The fish out of water concept looks like it will definitely be explored. A story does look like it's in the movie somewhere, but I don't know from where the book to film actually comes about. I don't know where that thing is from this particular section of the book into this, but I know it's there. And I know that everything is very simplified. I didn't really watch the second trailer, as the first one did enough to convey what the story and what I would be looking for in the first place. It's just that simple. So the plot revolves around Jake, who has been getting daily visions and nightmares, and no one really understands him, even though they know what he's going through. People know that he's got this active imagination. They know that he's got some problems, and I even believe that with these little earthquakes going on, I feel like the family knew, like, you might be causing this. We don't know. But these people try to help them the best way they know how, and that's through psychology, therapy, blaming off the past incidents that he's been through in his very traumatic life. But in the end, one thing leads to another, and that makes Jake follow through into his crazy dreams and finds out that it's all real. And it plays into Roland's revenge and the Man in Black and what he's doing. So that's pretty much the basics of the plot. And that's the truth of it. The film is enjoyable. I found myself in it from scene one to the end credits. I wasn't bored. I didn't mind the little Easter eggs here and there of like 1408 or Rita Hayworth and a few others. I actually really liked the sense of danger this movie conveyed, as Jake actually has to run away from a few things and they are literally right behind him, making it kind of that much more intense for him to get away. But I really liked how close the danger was. Idris Elba is watchable and enjoyable, and he's pretty cool as the gunslinger. The action sequences he's a part of really have a good strong presence and intensity with him. And, who doesn't love Idris Elba? I love him because he's always a commanding presence in everything that he does. That scene where he's just standing there listening to everything around him, and then he raises his gun and then he fires when Jake's being taken away by that man. That was a cool scene. I really liked that. The kid, Tom Taylor, was actually very good in this role. He carried good emotion. To be very honest with you, he sold me all the way through. There was a scene where he realized the dreams he was having were coming true, and they gave him a moment where he had to ask his mom just to see her alone for a second, and he's got like no color in his face. Like, he looks terrified that the things that he was afraid of are there getting ready to take him away, and he's like, Mom, they're here. He sold that emotion like he couldn't look up. He looked pale, like he saw a ghost, and I totally bought it. Matthew McConaughey was a lot better than I thought he was going to be, only I wish they did more with him. I like the little things they planted throughout the film where he would be walking down the street and look at a little girl and go, hate. And you just look at the girl suddenly change her demeanor to her mother, and you could just see the hate in her eyes. And little things like that I really enjoyed. And ultimately, you don't get much motivation from Matthew McConaughey's Man in Black. It just wasn't written in there to explain why he was doing what he was doing. Quick shout out goes out to Dennis Haysbert. Love that guy. They love the cameo appearance. Don't worry, it's in the trailer. In the end, I thought the action was fine. There isn't much, but I didn't need that for the story. I mean, I'm not an action hound guru, but you know, I don't need it 24/7 either. So they were quick to the point, they happened, and then they moved on. So I know the story itself will divide many people. Even the ones who haven't read the books will step away and go, I don't think that was nearly explored enough. For me, here goes nothing. I didn't mind the short runtime. In fact, I didn't even mind the simplified plot. Considering how hard it was for me to get into the first book, I really enjoyed thinking about all the plot elements that could have come from any of the 7 installments you see here. And I found out that there was 8. I didn't know that. Shame on me. I'm not too critical over this one. I just thought it was enough for me and my mom, who doesn't even like going to the movies, to go in, have a good time, and then get out. I do wish there was more, I'll give you that, but in the end, I enjoyed what I got. Seriously, I don't know if I'm the best opinion for all of this. I know I stand where I stand. I know it's going to go against the grain, but in the end, I can only say that I see the arguments, I see the criticisms, but I do see some enjoyment to be had in all of this. It's a functional movie, and I actually loved The Dark Tower and would own it on DVD. Going against the grain, like I said, I'm just here in it to win it, guys. Hooray for me. So have you guys seen The Dark Tower? What did you think of it? But in the world of the Gunslinger series and all 7 of these books, in all 7 of these books, what did you think of any of them? Let me know down below. I have yet to read any of them, even the first book and that edition. I have a lot of reading to do. For those of you who are new to my channel and enjoy my reviews, I talk about movies and TV shows and new and old variety. And that goes for both mediums. So if you have one that you'd like me to review, let me know and I will be happy to oblige. And if you like any of this, please subscribe and I will get you more videos in the future. Totally wanted to use my gun in the first few segments that you saw, but I totally forgot, so I segued it in after the title credits. I am weird. I'm weird. Goodbye.